All right, guys, this is the review for quiz 3. Please do your work on a piece of paper. All right, on a drawing, the scale is 1 inch is 250 miles. What length on the drawing would represent 1,500 miles? I would suggest setting up a proportion to solve this. Go. All right, well, I like to set up a cheater fraction. And what I call a cheater fraction I put it over here on the side, so I make sure that both sides of my proportion are set up the same. 1 inch is 250 miles, so I'm going to do inches over miles. This is just to help me make sure everything is set up properly. So 1 inch is 250 miles. We want to know how many inches would be represented for 1,500 miles. So 1,500 is miles. It goes down here. X inches up here. That's what we're looking for. To solve a proportion, we cross multiply. 250 times x is 250x equals 1 times 1,500 is 1,500. Divide both sides by 250. And we end up with x is 6, and the label will be inches. Make sure your answer has a label. All right, express this as a simplified fraction, 15 to 25. Go. Well, 15 to 25 written as a fraction would look like this. Remember, you can write a ratio multiple ways. 15 to 25, we could do 15 to 25, which is how they gave that to us, or we could do 15 to 25. They all mean exactly the same thing. We like to look at it as a fraction, though, to simplify it. Divide these both by 5, and we get 3/5. So your answer should have looked like that. Number 3, what are all the ways you can express the ratio of 8 girls to 15 boys? I just did this in the last one. You should have 3 different answers. Put them all in the Edpuzzle. Go. Well, you could have done this. 8 to 15, 8 to 15, or 8 to 15. All 3 of these are exactly the same thing. Okay, solve this proportion. Go. All right, solving a proportion, we cross multiply. 25 times x is 25x. 15 times 200 is 300. Oh, I forgot to write my x there. 25 times x is 25x equals 15 times 200 is 300. Divide both sides by 25, and we end up with x is 12. Number 5, you can buy 15 hot dogs for $33.75. What is the cost per hot dog? Well, you can just do this by dividing, or you can set up a proportion. Cost over number. So it's $33.75 for 15 hot dogs. We want to know how much it costs for 1 hot dog. Cross multiply. 15 times x is 15x equals 33.75 times 1 is 33.75. Divide both sides by 15. I would use a calculator for this, and you get 225. Now, you should have a label. 225 per hot dog. Okay, you drove 504 miles in 8 hours. At this rate, how many miles did you drive in 1 hour? Again, I would set up a proportion. Go. Well, my cheater fraction, we're comparing miles to hours. So we did 504 miles in 8 hours. We want to know how many miles x in 1 hour. Cross multiply. 8 times x is 8x. 504 times 1 is 504. Divide both sides by 8, and we end up with x is 63, And our label is miles per hour. Miles per hour. You could write that out. This is an abbreviation for miles per hour. You could do it this way, miles per hour. You could write miles per hour. But you need to have a label because 63 is not the same as 63 miles per hour. Okay, number 7. Is this relationship proportional? So you're going to tell me yes or no. Go. Well, to see if this is proportional, we need to find our unit rate, K, which is Y over X. Okay, money always goes on top. So I'm going to do $9 divided by 4. And when you do that, you get $2.25. Then I'm going to do $22.50 divided by 10. I get $2.25. It's looking pretty good so far. Last but not least, $26.40 divided by 12. And when I do that, I get 2.2, which is $2.20 per pound. So these are not all the same, so it is not proportional. So you should have said no. If all of these unit rates, or K, constant of proportionality, would be the same, then you would say yes. What is the constant of proportionality in this graph? Go. Well, again, K is Y over X. This is an X and a Y. 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 Now, this graph is proportional because it's a straight line through the origin. This is really our unit rate. Y is 60 over X is 1. So it's 60 miles per hour. 60 miles per hour. Now, I could have figured that out up here. 180 divided by 3 is also 60. I could do 120 divided by 2. It's also 60 miles per hour. But as long as your graph is proportional, which means it's a straight line through the origin, the unit rate is located at X is 1. You go 60 miles in 1 hour. All right, guys, let me know if you need any help with any of these concepts.